Oi, come here for a second. I want to tell you something most people don't understand about hope. They think hope is some soft thing, something weak people cling to when they're scared, something you wait for, something you pray for. But they're wrong. Hope isn't something you find. Hope is something you make. Every time I got knocked down, every time someone told me you can't, every time the world looked too big, too dark, too impossible, I didn't sit there wishing for hope. I stood up, I clenched my fist, and I kept walking forward. That's where hope comes from. From that tiny step you take even when everything feels hopeless. When I lost Ace, I couldn't breathe. The world felt empty. I didn't want hope. I wanted to disappear. But then, I remembered something. Hope isn't the thing that saves you. You are the one who brings hope back to life. You create it with one decision. I'm not done yet. Every scar you have, every loss you faced, every tear you hid, those things don't destroy hope. They shape it. Hope isn't light. Hope is fire. You feed it with your will, with your stubbornness, with your refusal to quit. So if you feel empty right now, if you feel lost, if you feel like nothing around you is getting better, good. That means this is your moment. The moment where hope isn't given to you, but born inside you. And once you create hope, nobody can take it from you. You know what I realized on my journey? People don't lose because they're weak. People lose because they give up before their strength shows up. Hope works the same way. When you start something, a dream, a goal, a promise, you feel excited, right? Your heart beats fast, your mind is full of fire. But then the waves hit you. Life punches you in the face. People doubt you. You doubt yourself. And suddenly, that fire turns into smoke. That's when most people quit. But listen, that moment, the moment when everything hurts, everything confuses you, everything feels pointless, that is the moment where you're supposed to keep going. Because hope doesn't grow when things are easy. It grows when things are breaking you. When I trained on that island after Marineford, I wasn't strong. I wasn't confident. I wasn't even smiling. I was frustrated, angry, confused, lost. But every day I pushed myself, even when it felt like I wasn't changing at all. Some days I felt like I'd never rise again, but I kept moving. I kept standing. I kept trying. And slowly, hope started to return. Not because someone saved me, not because someone believed in me, but because I didn't walk away from myself. You understand? Hope is not magic. Hope is not luck. Hope is the result of showing up, even when you feel like disappearing. Every small effort you make builds a little more hope. Every failure you refuse to surrender to makes it stronger. And one day you look back and realize you've become someone you once thought was impossible. Hope didn't lift you. You lifted hope. You know what I've noticed on every island, in every fight, in every storm? People think hope is something you wait for. But that's not true. Hope is something you create. When I was a kid in Fuchsia Village, I used to shout about becoming Pirate King. Everyone laughed. Everyone said I was dreaming too big, but their doubt didn't matter. Because my hope didn't come from them, it came from me. I didn't sit there waiting for someone to say, "Yeah, Luffy, you can do it." I already decided I would. Hope isn't born from applause. It's born from decision. And here's something you need to understand. If you wait for people to believe in you first, you'll wait forever. Some people won't support you. Some people won't understand you. Some people won't even care. But your dream is not their responsibility. It's yours. The first step of hope is simple. Choose yourself even when they don't. Let me tell you something. When you take your first step, when you choose to rise, you'll feel alone. But that's how every great story begins. I didn't get my crew because I waited for them. I found them because I moved forward anyway. Zorro didn't join me because I had hope. He joined me because I acted on it. Sanji, Nami, Usopp, Rabe and none of them followed me because I was ready. They followed me because I kept going, even when I wasn't. You don't attract strength by looking strong. You attract strength by refusing to sit still. Hope grows the same way. You take one step, then another, and another. And suddenly people who doubted you start to watch you differently. Not because you proved them wrong, but because you proved yourself right. Remember this, hope isn't a feeling. Hope is a direction, and you choose it. You know, people think hope is some shiny thing you keep in your pocket. Something soft, something gentle. But they're wrong. Real hope is violent. It fights. It scratches. It claws its way through every doubt trying to bury you. When I stood in front of enemies stronger than me crocodile, Lucci, Kaido Hope didn't whisper to me. It roared. It said, "You're not done yet." That's what hope really is. Not a wish, not luck. Hope is the decision to stand up again, even when your legs are shaking. Most people misunderstand hope because they think it should feel good. But my hope never felt good. My hope felt like my lungs burning, my fists bleeding, my body failing, but my heart still screaming. Move! Listen carefully. You don't build hope by standing in the light. You build it by surviving the dark. It's in the nights when everything feels heavy, when the world goes quiet, when you have no one left to call. That's when hope breaks through. Because if you can rise therein that silence even once, then nothing on this planet can break you again. Hope is not for the comfortable. Hope is for the stubborn. For the ones who refuse to stay down. For the ones who choose to believe even when belief hurts. When I'm bloodied, bruised, barely able to breathe, that's when I smile. Because I know something my enemy doesn't. A man who still has hope is a man you can't kill. You know what people don't understand about hope? They think it's something you wait for. But I learned something on every island, every battlefield, every time my crew was in danger. Hope isn't something you wait for. Hope is something you create. When the going merry was falling apart, when Robin said she wanted to live, when Ace was slipping away in my hands, there was no light in the sky. There was no miracle coming down for me. There was only one thing left, my choice. The choice to move, the choice to scream, the choice to fight, even when fighting felt impossible. That's what people don't get. Hope isn't given to the strongest. It's forged by the broken. When you fall so hard it destroys you, and you still rise, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, that's hope being born. And listen, you're stronger than you think. You hide it behind fear, behind excuses, behind the belief that someone like you can't rise. But I've seen men weaker than you die with courage, and monsters stronger than mountains fall with regret. So don't tell me you can't. Every great thing starts with someone who said, "I will try again." You want hope? Stop waiting. Start building. Hope begins the moment you stop begging for strength and start becoming it. Because once you decide you're done running, once you decide today is the day you rise, the world feels it, destiny feels it, your enemies feel it, and they start to fear you. Because there's nothing more terrifying than a human being who refuses to break. You want to know something? Hope isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't announce itself like some hero coming to save you. Hope is small, quiet, almost invisible. It shows up in the tiniest moments. When you're tired, but you take one more step. When you're hurting, but you whisper, I'll try again. When the world tells you it's over, and you answer, not yet. That's hope. People think the strongest ones never fall, but that's not true. The strongest ones fall the hardest. They break, they cry, they lose their way, but then somehow they crawl back up. I didn't become strong because I never lost. I became strong because every time I got knocked down, I kept choosing to stand, even when I had nothing left, even when my hands were shaking, even when my heart felt like it was tearing apart. Hope isn't about seeing the finish line. It's about moving even when you can't see anything at all. When Ace died, there was nothing inside me. No fire, no strength, no dream, only pain. If hope was something the world gives you, I would have stayed broken forever, but I didn't. Because hope isn't given. Hope is built, piece by piece, breath by breath, choice by choice. And you've got more pieces than you realize. So stop telling yourself you're weak. Stop believing the lies your fear whispers. If I could stand up after losing everything, you can stand up after whatever you're facing. You just have to decide. I'm not done. That's where hope begins. You know what I realized? Hope grows fastest in the darkest places. When everything is going wrong. When nothing makes sense. When you feel like the whole world is pushing you down. That's when hope has its greatest chance to rise. Because darkness can crush your strength. It can crush your pride. It can crush your plans. But it can't crush your will unless you let it. I remember sitting on that rock after Marineford. Wind silent, sea quiet, my crew gone, my brother gone. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know what to do. Me, the guy who always shouts, always laughs, always charges ahead. I was lost, completely. But even then, there was this tiny spark inside me. So small, I almost didn't notice it. A memory of my crew smiling. A promise I made to myself. A dream I swore I'd reach. And that spark, it didn't care how broken I was. It didn't care how impossible everything felt. It just whispered, get up. So I got up. Not because I was strong, but because that spark refused to die. Hope doesn't need you to be fearless. It doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs one thing, that you don't quit. Even if all you can do today is stand up slowly. Even if all you can do is take one shaky breath. Even if all you can manage is whispering, I'll keep going. That's enough. Because hope isn't about winning. Hope is about refusing to lose yourself. In the moment you refuse to give up, even if you're on your knees, you've already won something the world can't take away. So listen, your story isn't over. Your strength isn't gone. Your future isn't finished. Hope is already inside you. Let it grow. You know what hope really is? It's not some soft, gentle feeling. It's not sitting around waiting for life to get better. And it's definitely not pretending everything is fine when it isn't. Hope is war. A quiet war inside you. A war against the doubts that whisper you're not enough. A war against the memories that try to chain you down. A war against the fear that says you should stop trying. Every time you refuse to quit, Every time you push forward, even when you're tired. Every time you take one more step when your body screams to give up. That's hope. People think my strength is in my fists. They think it's in Gear 5 or hockey or all the fights I've won. But they're wrong. My strength started way before that. It began when I was just a kid standing in front of mountains that felt too big, looking at enemies I shouldn't have been able to beat, holding dreams I had no right chasing. And yet, I still said, I'm going anyway. Hope is choosing to move even when the whole world tells you it's pointless. Hope is looking at your wounds and saying, I'll heal. Hope is staring at your failures and saying, I'm not done. And when you carry that kind of hope, people feel it. The world feels it. And suddenly you become someone others look at and think, if they can keep going, maybe I can too. Your hope becomes a fire, a lighthouse, a reason for someone else to stand back up. So don't underestimate yourself. You're not just surviving this life. You're inspiring someone without even realizing it. Keep that flame alive. Keep moving forward. Because hope doesn't just save you, it saves everyone who sees you refuse to fall. You know, people talk a lot about hope like it's some fragile thing. Like it breaks easy. Like it disappears if life gets too dark. But they don't understand what hope really becomes once you've been pushed to the edge. When you've lost things you thought you could never live without. When people you cared about walked away. When the world laughed at your dreams. When you stood alone on nights that felt colder than death. Hope stops being soft. It becomes steel. It becomes a thing inside you that refuses to shatter, no matter how hard the world hits. I've had moments where everything collapsed, moments when I couldn't save the people I loved, moments when I felt powerless, moments where even smiling hurt. But you know what kept me standing? Not strength, not luck, not destiny. It was that tiny voice inside me whispering, get up, one more time. That's hope. Not loud, not dramatic, not perfect, just persistent. Hope is the version of you that doesn't surrender. The part of you that keeps trying even when you're exhausted. The fire in you that says, if there's even a 1% chance, I'll take it. And when you choose that, when you decide to rise even though you're breaking, life starts to bend. Opportunities appear. People show up. Paths open. Not because the world suddenly becomes easy, but because you became someone who doesn't run. Someone who stands. Someone who believes. Someone who fights with heart instead of fear. That's hope. Not a wish. Not a prayer. But a warrior inside you. And as long as that warrior breathes, you're not done. You're not defeated. You're just getting started. You made it this far, so listen closely, because this is the truth people don't want to admit. Hope is dangerous. Not because it makes you weak, but because once you learn how to hold it, you become unstoppable. Hope is the reason enemies fear you. Hope is the reason life can't break you. Hope is the reason you rise again and again, even when everything inside you is screaming to fall. I've been knocked down more times than I can count. I've failed. I've lost. I've bled. I've stood on battlefields where death felt closer than life. And every time, that same fire inside me whispered, if you can still breathe, you can still fight. That's what I want you to understand today. Your past doesn't own you. Your mistakes don't define you. Your pain isn't your identity. Hope isn't pretending everything is fine. It's deciding to walk forward even when it's not. It's choosing to rebuild your heart after it's been shattered. It's choosing to believe in your dream when no one else does. It's choosing yourself again and again, even on days you don't feel worthy. And if you're listening to this right now, I want you to hear this in my voice. You're stronger than you think. You're braver than you act. And you have more in you than the world has ever seen. So don't you dare give up. Not now, not ever. Because one day, the same people who doubted you will watch you rise past everything that tried to destroy you. And on that day, you'll understand what I've always known. Hope doesn't just keep you alive. It turns you into someone impossible to stop. Now go, stand tall, hold that hope like a weapon, and risen no matter what tries to break you.